All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. Yeah, I'm late. I didn't really plan being late, but I was writing a scene in my sci-fi story, and I wrote like 100, not 100, about 500 words in about 45 minutes, and it was good. It was a good scene, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's getting close to the stream, and I wanted to share an article. I wanted to read an article today, and it was the same company that wrote the article I had in mind, but it was the wrong article, so I had to look around for that the right article, and then I earlier got a little cut from a kitchen utensil, and I had to put a band-aid on, so I'm fine. I'm here. And I have my microphone closer today, which I think will be a little bit good. One second here. You can find my music, as you had heard, for the first, 10 to 11 minutes on my Sound Engraver website. I'll just go ahead and pop that in. For just a few dollars, you can get that EP Winsome that was playing I played a few tracks there. And then there's Azure too. I still love EP. I think that's the piece I'm the most proud of, or the music I'm most proud of when it comes to not just the composition quality, because that's very important too, but the post production quality, like that was me mixing and mastering, and to this day I'm trying to emulate from that point as my reference. So I'm very happy with Azure too, but there, I think I won't change the composition or the instrumentation with Azure. There are just some things when I put it into a CD form. There are some I'm going to soften a few things. I think some of the instruments are fine. They're just a little on the harsh side. But man, with Winsome, that EP is mostly good. Got no complaints. All right, let's go ahead and put the camera on to see if it's good here. Excuse me, let me clear my throat for a second. Oh, yeah, sorry, I took myself out. Not the avatar, I just want the camera. There we go. All right, good. Good. I think I'm going to keep the microphone pretty close, because I always feel just a little bit better when the microphone is close. But happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you again for waiting so long. It's 6 now, about 15 minutes in already of the stream. It looks like we got a lot of people in the chat. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to read through the chat real quick, and then I only really have one topic to talk about, and it's, of course, AI. I'm not going to try to have all my streams, surrounding this topic, or involved in this topic, because one, it's just getting too much. It can get a little depressing if you think about it, and then I have other stuff to say, other productive things to say. uh, so I won't spend so much time on AI. But there's something new emerged recently. I stumbled upon this article about 5 or so days ago, and I think it's really important to talk about. So we will. It has to do with AI music, but I would just say I think this is really mostly about AI in general. So let's talk. Let's talk to you. Let's welcome you, every one of you. Got Ghost Planet. Good to see you. Thank you for saying it's gonna be a fun stream. I sure hope so. It's reading an article. It's not a big article, and I sort of perused it, so I'm going to be reading it to you really in full, or yeah, comprehensively in front of you. Let's welcome Private Eye. Good to see you. Amy L is also with us. Always good to see you. Crystal Ashes, channel member and long supporter of this channel. Thank you so much for coming. We got Scorpiopio. Always a pleasure to see you. I do see you sometimes on uh, some streams. Well, never mind. Like on other people's channels that I see. So it's great. It's great to see you in the chat sometimes. Uh, let's see. My wonderful prof for my wisdom, my Nuviel. He's practicing bass right now, but he's got a big old new amp. Like it's a pretty good looking amp. But he's got that toned down. In fact, he's probably not even using the amp right now. John Henry, good to see you always. Uh, don't want to lose that creative flow. Makes sense to me. Yeah, I was in the middle of writing. I was like, I need to finish this part of the scene. I'm actually excited about it. I kind of want to get back into it later tonight. It's good stuff. I'm just overall happy with my writing experience now that things are coming together. Uh, Numicron, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like you come more from my music stuff. But then again, we're talking about AI music, so maybe that's why. Dig Outlaw, good to see you, channel member and author himself. Go check out his books online on Amazon, as well as his audio reading on his own channel, Adega Outlaw. He's got Adega Outlaw. Do you do that yourself? I haven't listened because I know you're doing more steampunk dark fantasy. But do you read that yourself? Because that's actually a pretty good. That's an interesting idea to do. Uh, Thank you. Soothing, energetic, fun for everyone. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that's my music. I love it. I'm only getting better. I'm completing a lot of compositions. I just have to mix and master them. That takes a little bit longer. But I've got a few tracks in the queue. They're coming along. I just need to get that violin sounding good, and that takes forever. One sec. John Henry says, "Hello, good people. I mean humans only. AI robots have no free will to do good." So that about Terminator 2. So thumbs up and thumbs down for AI propaganda. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about all this. It's good stuff. And you're talking about not just Terminator, but Blade Runner with the replicants and all. Yeah, if you've ever probably reread the book, but man, years ago, probably 15 years ago now, I read "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," and it's pretty I mean, I hate to use this cliche, but it's pretty thought provoking. It kind of it makes you feel weird at the end. It's like, whew, it's like, and it's quite different from the movie. I mean, the spirit of the movie is the same as the book, but the book does portray the protagonist a little bit differently. And well, maybe the protagonist is more the same. Deckard, maybe he's more the same between the book and the movie, but the replicants themselves, uh, they're portrayed a little bit differently. All right. Big Albertson says to us, "Hello, Son of River. Have a good show. Is Professor Geek's bass playing driving you mad yet? Not really. You know, one thing is, it makes me happy that he's happy with bass, and I love him practicing, like, because I'm all about practicing. You know, I tell my own music students to practice, and I'm practicing things like Super Collider and all that. So practice is important, and he just gets so happy. You know, it's and when you are a capable musician, when you're at a capable level of playing whatever instrument, you feel good about yourself. You feel nice. Like this is a controversial take. I've said it before. As a music teacher and as a musician, you never yes, you can learn an instrument even at the beginning level and enjoy it, and it's self-enriching. Even if you never are at that playable like amateur or even professional stage. And you can enjoy for the sake of learning and for the sake of enjoying learning that instrument. But especially with my younger kids, where the parents are saying, "Well, when is my kid gonna finally enjoy playing violin?" And I'm like, "You can't. I'll be honest. You know, you can't really enjoy violin until you know how to express music with violin, and that takes many years to get down with practice. And people don't believe me, but you can't. Yes, you can have fun playing music at a beginner level, and it's enjoyable, but you really can't. There's something super fulfilling when you've mastered an instrument, or even with me for piano. I'm intermediate. I'm not past year 5, maybe at the end of year 4. I'm not even late intermediate. I'm just intermediate, and I still enjoy piano. But I had you have to get past a certain point to really feel fulfilled, and Prof has that with bass, and that makes me happy. I didn't think I'd fall in love with a musician. He didn't tell me he was a musician. I told myself I'd never marry a musician. I didn't need that extra musician in the family. but he sort of came to be a musician after he showed me how he with his academic prowess and his scholarly takes on the mythos, on the myth and archetypes and stuff. All right, so let's try. Let's see. Big Al is like, my ethics may be also questionable. Yeah. All right, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. It looks like talking about Final Fantasy 12. I've only played 4, 5, and 6 as released in North America. I do want to play 7. I'd actually like to play up to 12. I just haven't yet. It'll be a while. All right. And as far as Final Fantasy 7, I probably will only do the original. I know there's probably a lot of things lacking in the original, but I see the remake. It looks great, but I don't know. There's just I think I was a teenager when the original came out. I just can't remember. All right. More game talk. More game talk. Amy L says, I never noticed any problems with your miking in your live stream. I always feel like I'm low. I always feel like I'm too low. I think it's because your mic setup is fine, or maybe StreamYard is doing something to the audio levels. I will say, when I'm on camera, I hear it. Maybe you guys don't hear it. When I'm on camera, the audio fidelity decreases just by a margin. When I turn off the camera, I feel like the audio is so much better. Like when you see just my avatar or my picture or whatever, I think it's so much better. But I feel if I can have the camera on and talk to you, I just feel a lot more expressive. So, yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ace, good to see you. Also, Samuel Proctor, welcome back to Sundays. I'm so glad you can make it on a Sunday stream. All right, you guys are still talking amongst yourselves. You guys have great conversations. You're not just listening to me. You're tuning into what other people have to say. What kind of amp? I need to get one again. Fender. I don't know the exact model. It's just big. It's like 2 feet tall. No, probably even taller than that. But Prof would know. Prof can put that kind of information down because it's his equipment. I don't really pay attention to what he gets. All right. Gotta sneeze. Goodness. Sorry, guys. Sinuses, maybe? 1 second. 1 second. All right. Much better. Okay. Yeah, Fender Rumble 500. I knew it was 500. I just didn't want to say without clarification. Okay, we'll talk about AI a little bit. So I'm talking about AI ethics. My position on AI has not changed. I will never use AI. I won't use it as a tool. I won't use it as a consultant. I'm not going to use it as anything. Let the AI do its AI thing. And people may say, well, it's going to exist forever. It's okay. I don't have to do AI, and I will never do AI. And there, sorry for my voice. Let me grab some water real quick. All right, I'm back. It must be allergies, so my voice might break up. I do apologize, but I'll get through this stream. So, I talk about the ethics of AI all the time, especially when it comes to AI art. Especially when it comes to how certain companies have just scrubbed the internet and scrubbed all sorts of platforms to take from artists without compensating, to give inspiration to people who have never practiced the craft and have them monetize off of previously established works. Now, is it possible to be ethical when it comes to AI? I'm going to give you an article. Let's go ahead and just dive headfirst into this article. And I will never do AI, even if it is ethical, for the reasons that I've said before and for reasons we can discuss on this stream. But if you had to work in ethics in AI and with a practice, a method of ethics, this would be the way to do it. I don't know how long this article is, to be honest, but let's see. Let me share. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me share the screen. Let's see if you see that. Yeah, yeah, you see that. Good, good. And I blew it up where it's legible. So this is what Music Business Worldwide. I mean, it's just an article I happened upon 5 days ago. Excuse me. I'm going to clear my throat one more time. And I will do my best in my allergies voice, I guess, to read for you this article. This article I'm presenting, this is a little bit new. It's a little bit different, but it's an upcoming, I guess it's a startup maybe, or maybe it's been around for a while. A new AI platform. And the question is, what they're pursuing, is it ethical? So let's just begin. You can see that. Looks good. Good. 11 Music. New AI rival to Suno launches with Cobalt Merlin deals and warnings for users who want to infringe copyrights. Okay, that sounds good. Some new rival to Suno who may be approaching AI music in an ethical manner. And Suno and Udio, they're all just say it, they're crap. They're horrible companies, horrible platforms, and any contender, any competitor that does it differently, I'll give a little bit of grace. Made August 5th, written August 5th, 2025, so fairly recent. AI company 11 Labs has launched 11 Music, a platform that's said to generate studio-grade music from natural language prompts after striking partnerships with independent music licensing organizations Merlin and publisher Cobalt. Let me tell you something a little bit about Cobalt. Cobalt. It's kind of hard to say. So it's a publisher, and I think they do distribution. I'd have to double check. They don't say it on their website. They don't really say what exactly they do on their website. It's kind of strange. All they say, and it's just that corporate language. Again, I love capitalism, but I'm not in favor of a lot of shady corporatism, shall we say, where they use the language like we put creatives first, and it's like I'm tired of that kind of language. I'm not saying this company Cobalt or even 11 Music now, a new platform, is unethical, but I'm just gonna say this: while I may commend what they may be doing with AI music here, I don't trust them. I can compliment them. I can support any ethical method that they pursue, but I don't trust them. So anyway, continuing on. So this is a UK American-based company. London and New York-based 11 Labs announced the launch on Tuesday, August 5th, marking its expansion beyond voice synthesis into full AI music generation. I do want to say one thing too. I think studio grade music here, I'm not sure what that means. My guess is that they're trying to present a way of creating music in a way that sounds like it's made from the studio, meaning good production, good quality audio. Not a fan of that. Just pay a master engineer, pay a mixer, or do it yourself. I'm doing it myself, and I feel pretty proud of my accomplishment there. But the fact that you can generate music at a studio level quality, I don't like, even if it's ethically done. But this is better than what Udio and Suno have done. All right, let's continue on. According to a press release, 11 Music enables users to create tracks across any genre or style with or without vocals in numerous languages within minutes. So they started 11 Labs. It sounds like they started just voice synthesis and generating maybe voiceovers, maybe based on real people who they had license agreements with. I'm not sure, but it looks like they're expanding now to beyond the voiceover services. It looks like they're expanding to music itself. As such, 11 Music enters the busy generative AI music space, competing with Suno and Udio. Unlike these two platforms, however, 11 Music is already inking licensing agreements with major rights holders. Said rights holders are convinced that their works are being duly protected and compensated. So, not just copyright being protected if this can work, if this flies, but also these rights holders and therefore, musicians who have certain, what is it called? Professional rights organizations. These kinds of companies that protect artists. Well, maybe they're compensated, and artists and music they're holding in their companies are also compensated. So that's good. That's all right. Its media release today, August 5th, stated 11 Music was built in partnership with artists, labels, publishers, and it includes guardrails to protect rights holders. Lauren Hubert, CEO of Cobalt, said, "Our songwriters, quote, our songwriters and clients entrust us to ensure that the AI revolution includes both strong protections for their intellectual property rights for AI training, as well as forward-looking and thoughtful opportunities to participate in AI revenue streams subject to clear and fair guardrails." 11 Labs has been a collaborative partner committed to sourcing data directly from rights holders and protecting them. With that in mind, it's interesting to scan 11 Music's terms and conditions for making tunes on its platforms. So I'm going to get into this nice little list that I applaud. But what I would say is that, okay, so there are artists out there who are not happy with how generative AI companies and platforms have just scrubbed their art and their music and without any compensation, without any credit, and that's not been fair. That's been unjust, and they rightly stand against that. But among those artists, there are still artists and musicians and songwriters out there who would gladly make music and get their music licensed to these platforms, these AI generative platforms, if they are compensated. So it's almost like getting, let's say you get a $1,000 stipend for composing 5 tracks for a certain library. Okay, that's cool. Would I do that? No. If people want to be inspired by my music, whether now or in the future, they can just listen to my music, understand what I've done organically, and maybe work from there. Like, oh, she did this here with electronic music. I'd like to do that. I've done that with many, like dozens of artists that I listen to on a daily and weekly basis. I have composers and artists that I love listening to. My music is different from theirs, but I'd like to, be inspired by what they do specifically. That's the nature of learning on your own and developing your craft on your own. So if someone approached me years into the future, let's say, and they say, "I really like this album you've made. I like what you do with electronic music. Can you write something for us for our generative AI platforms?" The only way I would do something like that is if I wrote something for them that I didn't need to feel was my own. And in my experience right now, in my journey creating original music, I don't think that's going to happen. I just, everything that I make is very precious to me in one way or another. It's very much my signature. It's very much my personal expression. And I mean, I can't say an outright no, but right now, in my position right now, August 2025, I don't think a company could come to me, even with a good stipend, and say, "Can you write for our libraries? Can you write for our generative AI?" I just will probably be one of those musicians and those composers that say, "Listen, I don't need AI, ethically or unethically, taking my music and learning off of it." That's just my stance. That's just my position. You don't have to have that position, but even ethically done, I'm like, no, I don't need AI learning off of my music. If people want to learn off my music, they could just listen to my music and analyze and study, as we've been doing as musicians and people in liberal arts and all that. We've been doing this kind of thing for hundreds of years. Since music's been orally passed down generation to generation, or since music notation and modes for analysis. So anyway, that was a long rant. Let's continue on down. I do like this here, however, even though I would never write for 11 Music or Cobalt or whatever, I am in favor of this list you see here. It says here, with that in mind, it's interesting to scan 11 Music's terms and condition for making tunes on its platform. Under, quote, prohibited inputs, so prompts that you cannot put in, users agree that they are, quote, expressly prohibited from submitting any of the following prompts, and this is how it needed to be from the beginning. So this is what you cannot put in 11 Music's platform. You cannot put in any artists, whether living or deceased, their real name or their stage name. Any songwriter, whether living or deceased, not their real name, not their stage name. I love this. Any song title, any album title, any music publisher company's name, that makes sense, or any label's name, that makes sense. This is one I didn't read, so let's read this together. You cannot put a substantial or distinct portion of any song lyrics, such as that a reasonable person would determine the prompt was intended to reference a particular song. I'd have worded it a little differently, or worded it, if that's a verb. I'd have said that. I'd have expressed that a little differently, or I'd have written that a little differently. Anyway, the point is, I like that. I like it where you can't put so much into this platform where another person would say, hey, you got this from this song. I see you're referencing this song. So you can't reference any. This is good. In addition to the T's and C's that prohibit deliberate infringement of rights holders' music rights and deep fakery, this is what I didn't read, so we're going to read together. Customer shall not prompt or induce music or the platform to generate. I'm sorry, they're capitalizing it, kind of like how laws are written. Customer shall not prompt or induce music to generate output that is known or is reasonably likely to infringe any third party's intellectual property or other protected rights. This is great. Customer may not deploy any output that it knew or should have known would or is reasonably likely to infringe a third party's intellectual property or other protected rights. So you can't hope that whatever you output sounds like Olivia Rodrigo. Customer shall not prompt music to generate output that replicates or mimics the voice, likeness, or identifiable characteristics of any recording artist in a manner that is likely to be found misleading, confusing, or implies a false impression of association or endorsement. I like that. I mean, I like that. I wouldn't compose music for these people, for them to learn off, for their generative AI to learn off of what I do. But I like why wasn't this first? Why? When this whole thing started, why wasn't this the first thing to do? I don't appreciate AI, but if you had to do it, this is the way to do it. 11 Labs, let's see. 11 Labs says its partnership with Cobalt and Merlin will enable, quote, premier artists and songwriters represented by both organizations to participate in developing 11 Music Pro, professional rights holder organization. A subsequent model planned for release in the coming months. Cobalt's CEO Hubert said, 11 Labs has been a collaborative partner committed to sourcing data directly from rights holders and protecting them. You did say that already. Let's see. We are excited about this partnership and seeing 11 Labs become a pioneer in licensing premium music for its Music Pro offering. Cobalt looks forward to working with our songwriters and partners who wish to be a part of this opportunity with 11 Labs. The launch represents a national progression for 11 Labs, which was founded in 2022 by CEO Matti Zuski. I used to be good at pronouncing Polish names, and this all other CTO Polish guy, Peter something, Dabowski. 11 Labs. Oh yeah, that's already been mentioned here. To date, I think I'm almost done with the article. To date, it's been the best known for its AI voiceover and voice agent tech, which it claims which it claims is used by millions of individuals and thousands of businesses, including employees from over 72% of Fortune 500. I'm like, dude, that is kind of sad. You know, people used to hire people who had great voiceover talent. It takes a lot of talent and a lot of work to do voiceover work. But whatever. I don't like it. I wish people would just hire people, but we're not in that world anymore. Quote, as an AI audio company, expanding into music was a natural progression, and we are thrilled to introduce 11 Music today, said Stenzuski. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Of today's announcement. We've heard massive demand from our enterprise partners and users for a music model like this, and we took our time to ship one that we're certain they'll love. We're proud to do so in collaboration with music industry partners who recognize the vast benefits and possibilities of AI innovation in music. Ugh, I just don't like that. I don't like AI innovation in music. I don't. Prof, remind me to talk to people. I wish I should have. Oh man, I would have loved to put it up, share with you guys an ad that Prof showed me. Maybe it was a Facebook ad. I can't remember. But I'll talk about this like girl who is on the bandwagon to use AI as a tool. Jeremy Sirota, CEO of Merlin, added, "We are excited to partner with 11 Labs." I was like, yeah, it's all this corporate talk. We're excited for this collaboration. We're excited for this new partnership. I mean, I see this as I don't teach at Guitar Center, but I am a Guitar Center employee, and I see emails like this all the time. It's just corporate jargon, not even jargon. It's just corporate rhetoric. It's like, we are excited. I just hate this language so much. Our partnership with 11 Labs demonstrates that music rights holders can negotiate thoughtful, forward-looking agreements with AI companies. Thoughtful, forward-looking. It's a little sus. Forward-looking. Ugh, I don't like it. Together, we have created responsible guardrails to showcase how AI companies and music rights holders can collaborate. Yeah. So, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it is the label's responsibility. It's their choice. It's the artists and songwriters' responsibility. It's their choice if they want to partner with this kind of collaboration, with this kind of AI generative learning. But I'm not going to be a part of it. Oh, is there more? It's not that much more. Let's read on, and then I'll stop sharing the screen. 11 Labs launched publicly in 2023. Company raised 180 million Series C funding round. I don't know what that is. Valuing it at 3.3 billion in December of 2024. Last year, it announced partnership with the parent company. I don't know who these people are, which included plans to add AI-generated music features. Signed a training pact with Source Audio, giving it access to millions of pre-cleared songs. That's good. That means pre-approved, right? Like that means you got permission to get these songs for AI training through Source Audio's dataset licensing program. 11 Labs' proactive approach to music licensing currently stands in contrast to competitors, Suno and Udio, both of which are facing lawsuits. I wonder if the lawsuits are what caused new other companies to say, let's approach this ethically, please. I'm like, yeah, you should have done that first. Maybe they were not thinking to do that until they see all these like lawsuits that these famous platforms are facing. These notorious platforms are facing. Anyway, let me finish the sentence. Both of which are facing lawsuits from major record labels over alleged copyright infringement in their training data. While the industry rumors suggest some major music companies are in licensing discussions with Suno and or Udio, no official agreements have been confirmed to date. So I guess they just put this last part of the article to say, hey, look how many people have been officially part of our partnership. So there you go. So I mean, if you have to do AI music or AI art in general, this would be the way to do it. I do have a couple things in mind though. So let me grab some water real quick. All right, so cool. So they're putting in prompts, or rather, you cannot put in prompts that have any resemblance of any artist, album, song, lyrics. Okay, that's awesome. So as far as the moral ethics are concerned, if artists are not only in agreement with feeding their music for AI training, but are also credited and compensated, and it's their choice, they opt in, I'll I'll take a step back and say, okay, that's your choice, and this is how it's done, and I hope you are compensated for it. I do want to say though that while it looks really good and pristine on the surface, I do want to give this company 11 Labs or 11 Music, the platform from 11 Labs. I do want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I will say we are in a low trust society when it comes to the internet, especially, but also with what AI generated platforms have done. I mean, just the ludicrous amount of corruption these platforms have done. And yes, I will give 11 Labs the benefit of the doubt. I'll give all their partners the benefit of the doubt, all the publishing rights, the rights holders. I'll give each of them the benefit of the doubt. That said, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because, I mean, it's just a feeling I have. Prof and I are kind of just, yes, right now we are on StreamYard. StreamYard started with really good intentions. It's a startup company that just gave you a really easy interface. Yes, you had the option of going pro with added features, but you could have this, and I have the free version. In fact, I'm kind of happy that they're letting me do things like share articles and music and all that. But I we have seen now with after okay, so it's been about 5 years, been about since the pandemic. I think since StreamYard started. And I think before then, people were using things like OBS or even just the YouTube Studio. And StreamYard presented a free option that was really easy. Like the interface is super intuitive. But now at the end of 4 to 5 years of having used StreamYard, Prof and I are seeing, I mean, I know people have known about this probably even before we did, but Prof and I are seeing telltale signs of just greedy, like, oh, like let me give you this option, but like every time you log into StreamYard to set up a stream, it's like at least 3 pop-ups of, hey, don't you want to go pro? Oh, you didn't exit this, you just said continue. So hey, just you're almost there. Put your card information in and you're all good to go. I'm like, no, I meant to exit out, not to continue. And then there's like, oh, here's this sale, here's this premium promo thing, and it's like, okay, I StreamYard it started great, like all these like people in their 20s and early 30s just having these good intentions, and then it's like, okay, it's getting a little out of hand, and that's the feeling I have even for something like 11 Labs. I would keep my eye out on it, or keep my eye on it, in the next, what's going to look like in 2026, 2027. What are they going to start asking? What are their partners going to start asking? Like nothing. And this is why I don't trust the language. Like we put creators first. I mean, like I see that kind of language all the time in online corporation sphere and stuff, and I've seen it with very disingenuous platforms, that use generative AI to remaster some song that is obviously famous and obviously got its own intellectual property and franchise. So I just, while I applaud the approach with 11 Labs, while I would say that is the right way to do it if you're going to do it, I still don't trust them. Not all the way. I would have to I want to see like 5 years where they are. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Now, morally speaking, okay, cool. That's the ethical way to do it if you have to do it. But I think there's more to it than just moral ethics. Now, ethics is based on principles, especially surrounding morality. Like when you think of the word ethics or ethical, you think there's a moral tenet attached to it. But I do also want to talk about the psychological tenets. And I think, because I think, and I've talked about this, I've explored this, and I'll talk a little bit more, then we'll get into the chat and see what you guys are saying about this. But, you know, the ethics, yes, it's about following a good law, following justice, but there's also the ethics regarding your soul, the ethics that surround your soul. And what does that mean? It means your psyche also. It means your psychology. It means your imagination. It means your endeavor to work at something. It's your God-given ability to get better at something. Like humans can progress in a very beautiful way with time, practice, dedication, devotion, complete commitment over the span of many years. And, you know, I feel a little grieved because even if if AI platforms are ethically giving something good, like what am I trying to say? Even if they're offering services that are by law and by justice, their service is ethical, there is something maybe that these people behind these platforms are unwittingly depriving of users. You know, because when people tell me, you know, on my YouTube channel, whether it's on a short, like they're making a comment on a short video I posted or stream, something like this, you know, they tell me, well, I made this music. I made this music. I was like, well, tell me what instruments you used. Exactly. Tell me the instrumentation. Tell me how you orchestrated this. Tell me the chord progression. Can you name the notes you made with this melody? Can you know what intervals the lyrics of the song are working with? Did you write these lyrics? I mean, you cannot say to me, not even as a musician myself, not even as a professional in music, you cannot say to me that you made music not knowing how to make that music. Because I could tell you the chords. I could tell you the melody. I can tell you exactly the instrumentation that you're working with here, that the computer gave you, that the AI gave you. But if you can't do it, how can you tell? You're lying to yourself. You're saying you made music without knowing how to make music. It's like, because you wouldn't go to some concert, look at some guitarist on the stage and say, I can play that, when you can't play that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And so even though these AI companies may pursue creating services that are lawfully ethical and morally ethical, there's a psychology of ethics that is also at stake. People are in denial, or they're lying to themselves. Maybe they're unwittingly lying to themselves. Maybe they don't even know that they're lying to themselves when they say, oh yeah, I can make music now. It's like, you can't make music. Without AI, you can't make music. Therefore, you can't make music. There's a conditional logic to it. And I would say that even with the best intentions and things upheld by a just law, you're still depriving yourself of doing it yourself. There's no way to go around it. And some people do come to a very cold, hard truth. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, but some people do come to the whole cold, hard truth that they can't do it. It's terrible for me to say that. I've seen it as a teacher. I've gently said to maybe two people in my 10 years of teaching music. I've had to come to parents with very honest conversations and say, they're trying their best. And when you're looking for something better and you're not getting it, you need to see maybe they need to pursue something else. Maybe they need to pursue the debate team. Maybe they need to pursue gymnastics. Maybe they need to pursue horticulture. Like something else that they're just naturally good at. And it's terrible for me to say that as a teacher when the parents do want to see some, they have the hope of seeing some outcome that will never come. And dishonest teachers or teachers that keep on the truth from parents or truth from the students, who can't come to the hard conversations. And I've only had 2 such conversations in my 10 years of teaching. They'll say, well, I just need the money as a teacher. Technically I'm an employee as a music teacher. And so I have to think of more like an employee saying, okay, what's best for the company? But if it comes to an honest to goodness conversation where the student is not improving, even with practice, I talk to parents and say, listen, here's where we're at. And this is just not getting better. And when you have some service like AI running amok and telling the world they're little geniuses, and you're saying, you can make music, you can make art, the world is lying to you. These companies are lying to you, or at the very least, they're allowing you to lie to yourself because you can't prove to yourself you can do it. And you can't until time passes by, like months and months and years, saying, maybe I should take a stab at something else. Maybe this isn't for me. I never pursued sports because of that. I had enough self-awareness and enough self-reflection as a kid. I wanted to pursue music no matter what anyway, because music was my life. But that was my choice. I was like, what if I wanted to pursue sports? I was C-team volleyball. I couldn't climb a rope. I could barely do some sort of modern dance interpretation. I'm not coordinated. That's just not my expert, field. That's not my specialty. That's not where my talent is. I can't dance. I got rhythm, but not in dance, I'm not a sports person, I don't think I could do something like martial arts. And so, these AI people, even people who come with the best intentions, some are totally disingenuous. CEO of Suno. I would never punch his face, but he's got a punchable face. The way he talks to, it's like, oh my goodness, if we were in the same room, I wouldn't get violent, but I would be very forthright in my opinions of what he thinks. Anyway, yeah, with all due respect, it's not just a tool. It's doing the stuff for you. It's not a service. It's doing stuff for you, even ethically done. So, yeah, that's it. And people may disagree with me, but the AI bros will come at me. They'll come at me hard, and then I'll probably have to say, see you later. That's my stance. That's my position. Um, People say I can make music. It's like, you can't make music. I know I'm beating the dead horse, but it's just it's so important that people aren't allowed anymore in this. It's not even a generational thing, because people of all ages, people come at me. They come at me and say, I'm 68 years old, and I've been in music for 40 years and I still approve of AI. It's like, that doesn't validate AI. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this ad. So Prof showed me this ad. I would, oh man, is it on Facebook? Because it'd be really good to show you guys this ad. So it's this young woman. She can't be older than 22. She's got a lot of personality, and she comes at you. I don't even know what platform she's sponsoring or helping sponsor, or I don't know what company has sponsored her to do this ad. But she's this she's this great. I think it shut down a little bit. What's that? Okay, well, that's a little too bright. She's this musician who she's like, check this out. I need to get a funky track. I need to have some funk, some big band instruments and stuff like that. And she's like, I got this bass line, perfectly fine bass line. She's playing it on the keyboard. She's totally she's totally competent on the keyboard. Great bass line. She's got a little drum lick. She's got a little drum track. She's got a good mix to it. I was like, this is cool. I'm digging it. And she's like, but I need to put this in this service. And then all of a sudden, like, it blows up into this really funky style post-production big band tune that she didn't do that is following a little bit of her bass line. A great bass line she had, good enough. It's fine by me. But it was very different from what she had. Not that she had was any less. It wasn't inferior, but this funky tune that she's after was different. It was just different from what she was going for the bass line. And then what surprised me, what just shocked me, I started shouting at the ad in front of my prof, because that's the way I am. She gets the track. I don't know why this weird. Anyway, she gets this track down. She's got this funky track that she did not make herself. And then she starts doing this amazing jazz piano, big band chops on piano. Like, she is a wizard on the keyboard. I'm like, and she's like 22. She cannot be older than 25. And I'm like, I'm witnessing a tragedy here, because she composed her own bass line. She got her own drum loop, or maybe she did her own percussion. I don't know. And she's a wizard on the keyboard, and she cannot be older than 25. And I'm like, mark my words, if she continues doing an AI service, she's going to regress in her talent. She's already talented. She already knows how to compose and to play on the keyboard. She has enough chops. She's got enough experience to do it herself. And then she's like, let me put this funky tune with a drum loop, with this little idea here. Make it funky, AI service. And she's like, wow, this is amazing. I couldn't have done this myself. I'm like, you could have. Yeah, it would take a lot longer for sure. Maybe it'd take you another 5 years to get to that level. But the way you were she was a wizard on piano. I was like, I would love her piano chops. And she was like, I mean, I can't believe how good she was on piano. I was like, oh my. If she continues on the AI tool bandwagon, she's going to coast. She is not going to progress. I would even I could safely guess that if she's really hooked on AI, she's going to let her piano chops go down. Because they do, but guys, by the way, I'm 38 years old. I know I keep saying my age. You can coast when you're not progressing. You can plateau. I have to really engage with my violin practice, because I can plateau if I'm not careful. And so I was shocked when he showed me that ad. I was like, I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, she has her whole life in front of her, this girl, and she's amazing on the piano. I'm like, please, it's okay if you're slower. Making music takes time. You're not going to get it in seconds. Some people you're not going to get in days or weeks, maybe not even months, but it's worth the endeavor when you do it yourself. All right, so let me, that was a whole hour, guys. I need to go into the chat, see how you guys are doing. Thank you, Bray. Hey, man, long time no see to you too. Good to see you. Yeah, AI still sucks. Absolutely right. Thank you for the member flex. Appreciate that. Thank you for being a member. I really don't, besides little emojis of planets that I created myself, I don't really have much to offer in the way of YouTube membership. I haven't had time to be on YouTube that much, so sorry, guys. But that's okay, because I'm making art. I gotta make art. Make art, not friends. I want a shirt that says make art, not friends. And I also want a shirt that says art is pain. Because in the last few weeks, even though I've had a lot of great creative breakthroughs, art is pain. And the reason why you can't make AI with art, because AI doesn't feel pain, but humans feel pain. Art is pain. Writing is pain. Composing is pain. Art is pain. It's a good pain. I'm not being a martyr, but man, it's painful. Art is painful. It hurts so good, but it also sometimes hurts in a sad way too. It's like, man, this is so tough. Oh, let's see. Ace is talking to Professor Geek about Gears. Snufkin, good to see you. Been watching the Moomins. I don't know what that is. That I kind of want to check it out now. Crystal Ashes says, what do you mean you can't trust Solus Corporation? They clearly said they had the best intentions in mind. Yeah, I hate the whole creators first mantra. It's not a mantra. I'm sorry. It's like we put creators first. I'm like, I've seen that so many times. I've seen that so many times. And you know what's a real telltale sign of the that suspiciousness about it is like is they always repeat. It's not even like you're not even I've seen this twice now. I've seen this on 2 web pages or 2 websites. It's not even we put creators first. They have to constantly repeat it. Like, "Oh, we put creators first. Here's a little 2-liner thing. Picture of someone so happy with their services or some testimonial." And then it's like, "We really have to put creators first." And another testimonial. It is so important that we put creators and artists first. It's like, you don't have to say that multiple times. You're signaling to me that you don't believe it when you have to say it on repeat. I've seen that twice now. It's like, this is so sketchy. I feel weird. I feel like I need to. It's like a snake oil salesman, you know? It's like, stop saying it so many times. All right. Uh, all right. Let's see. Sit. All right. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. By the way, I think I hear Prof playing bass. By the way, I that doesn't bother me, Prof. I don't hear it that much, but he might not be. Oh yeah, Cassette Hiss. Check out his Cassette Hiss. I don't have the site. I don't think I do. Do I have it? I think my key. Oh no, I think my keyboard's going down. I have. Darn. Shoot, I need to plug in my keyboard. At least the mouse works. All right. Oh, let me see what Samuel Proctor's saying. Samuel, you say I think it's sketchy how sketchy, yeah, that's the word I just used. Serendipitous, right? I think it's sketchy how fast AI is being socially pushed everywhere. Everywhere. Like all the businesses, all your employers, you know, just stop it. This is worse than the NFTs, man. I think it's sketchy how fast AI is being socially pushed everywhere. It's only been, what, 3 years since ChatGPT started catching on. Yeah, I think it's weird too. And I'm not saying people are ousted for going against AI, but I get so much flack. Like, and I'm not even a big name YouTube channel, but for my own opinions, for the views I do get for shorts or whatever, or because I don't even really post. I don't anymore. I don't do commentator videos. I just do any of my opinions are either by my shorts or on these streams, which are usually I get those shorts from these streams. But you know, when I finally do music or when I finally do videos, I just want it to be music, like not. Or if I do have opinions, it's any analysis I have in mind for an album or a soundtrack, which is not really in the queue now. But it's more for like, I want to show what I'm learning, show you guys what I'm learning on Super Collider. Any opinions I have is like maybe reviews of books, like science fiction books. I want to talk to you about H.G. Wells on a video. I want to talk to you about my experience with taking Super Collider lessons, you know, opinions like that. But because I don't really talk about AI outside my stream. I don't want to when it comes to finally posting actual videos that aren't streams. Whenever that happens, right? 1 second. All right, so, okay. I think I need to sit up a little straighter. Ugh. Okay, so, guys are talking amongst yourselves. Amy L is correcting. It's been more than 3 years. I was in a conference before COVID that talked about AI video. The company pulled it due to ethical concerns. Wow. See, that's so people were kind of seeing it even back then. That's interesting. So, Chris Lashes is talking to Samuel Proctor about how many. Oh, well, I mean, you're talking to Samuel Proctor, but yeah, and yeah, and how it seems to turn all AI defenders into complete imbeciles. I call them AI bros. And I've said this before too. Like, I get the worst. My arguments on AI, people say that's a straw man. I'm like, it's not a straw man. It's interesting that you accuse me of making a straw man with a straw man, with another straw man. I get rabid people just coming at me, and I hide their comments if they're belittling or if they're insulting. Like no one needs to be insulting in the discourse. Like no one needs to be like, oh, you're so stupid, you're such an idiot. It's like, stop. You're not going to keep, I'm not going to keep that kind of content on my channel. I wouldn't have any student or parent call me an idiot in front of people in the store. I would stand up for myself and say, hey, stop. Well, I would stand up for myself in the physical space, but I just hide people's comments when they cross the line. Hey, thank you so much. 15 memberships. I appreciate that. Uh, did that post? I guess not. Did that post? It's not posting. I don't know why it's not posting. Slow. StreamYard, come on. Stop it. Stop being so slow. Well, hopefully that will come about Crystal Lashes. Show. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna keep that up for a little bit. I do appreciate your gifting the memberships. If you want a nice, you get Earth. You get a beautiful picture of Earth next to your name. I made sure I saturated the colors quite nicely. It's a beautiful green blue. It looks like a marble. So you get that next to your name. That's your benefit for being a member. And you also get your comments on the stream. Anyway, let's continue on down. I would love that. You mentioned that a couple months back, Megatron. I still, I love that idea so much. So hopefully it's kind of the same thing. Where did your comment go? Oh, all right. Continuing on down. Yeah, I knew based on your name. Don't ask me how to spell your name, Crystal Ashes. But I did see that your name was Icelandic when you sent me an email a few months back. Iceland, man, Icelandic. It's so like I bet it's a beautiful country. I think if I ever wanted to travel, and Prof and I can't, we can't travel. We gotta, we have his girl who, is full-time care, and she can't travel. But even so, even if we had the means to travel, like the schedule to travel, I wouldn't want to travel around the world now. It just seems I'm not a pessimist, but there's no incentive for Prof or I to travel. But Iceland would be a country I would go to, for sure. It's probably nice and cold and mountainous and beautiful and crystal clear. You probably don't have humidity. If you had humidity in Iceland, I would cry. Not in front of you. I want to cry, but it just sounds so nice. Sounds, from what I know. And beautiful language, beautiful spelling of letters. You guys have different letters in your language. It's so nice. Iceland, Italy, Japan. Maybe more the arid desert places that are livable. Samuel Proctor says, you aren't the only one. The channel I Love Comics has been complaining about StreamYard's shenanigans for a while. Okay, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I know it's around. They were just these low-key startup guys and girls. I'm like, I like you. You're offering a service, and yes, you have a pro platform or pro tier or whatever. I don't feel pressured to get it, but it's like, yeah, it's like they became greedy really fast. I wonder if they were bought out by someone else. Like it's like a personality switch, you know? Okay, let's continue. You guys are talking about Looney Tunes. Elmer Fudd is truly the most evil Looney Tunes character. I love Elmer Fudd's voice. Hey, Final Fantasy fan. AI feeds the ego. Yeah. Um, you don't have to see the issue, Strickler. Welcome to the channel, but it's not just a service. It does work for you. Um, so we can disagree there. Just be respectful. Not everyone can be an athlete like me. Math plus or minus is my weakness. Yeah, math is. I think I need to learn later in life. I might need to learn. I need to brush up probably on some algebra and trigonometry, just for interest's sake, because of like the math behind like a sound wave or something. I know a little, like I could sort of piece together a little bit of it, in Super Collider, but it's like, the math behind a wave, you know, pretty interesting, pretty interesting stuff. But I think it takes a little bit of trigonometry. Like you need to know the math behind a circle, to understand that. And I don't. I just know it barely scratching the surface. Surface. All right. Let's see. Samer Proctor says, I've been targeted on YouTube. These AI girlfriend apps. Yeah, I see those ads. I see those ads, man. I'm a married woman, married to a man. And I see these like anime girls saying, "Do you need a friend? Do you need a friend?" And I'm like, no, go away. If I need a friend, I'm gonna go to a real person. Especially for female cartoon character ones, it's very disturbing. Anything about it, even when I report it. Yeah, I block as much ads as possible. Ads are this is just a sidebar. Ads are really manipulative. You know those. Oh, crud. The AI one sec. Did- Hello, hello. Maybe I'm back. Oh, Wi-Fi is a little low. I think I'm on the streaming more than just a stream. All right, I'm back. But let's see. I couldn't even type right. I didn't type that question mark. 1 second though. I think I'm back. All right, I think I'm back. Yeah, looks like it's good. Just lost some signal. Um, yeah, we're talking about what were we talking about? We were talking about, oh yeah, ads. Like this is kind of a sidebar, but YouTube will give me those ads where you see the parents. They're either parents of like Sandy Hook victims or people with children who are unfortunately dying of leukemia or some sort of cancerous or terminal illness, and I hate it, and I feel for the parents, but I feel very strange, and it probably looks callous, sounds callous to me, but I always feel strange when there's an ad of like a teary-eyed dad saying it's the worst feeling in the world when you can do nothing to help your struggling kid, your suffering kid, and it's like I understand, but I feel like I'm being manipulated. And I know that the dad is truly crying, but he's put in that ad, and I have to stop it. And finally it was just so much where I actually blocked it. It's like it's not a bad I'm not against charity, I'm not against those things, but I don't like being manipulated like that. Like, oh, look, this is a hellscape for these people here. You got to donate. It's like, let me donate when I feel compelled to donate. I don't want to be told to donate, especially if it's like outside, like a Christian charity. All right. Crystal Ashes says, it's bad enough when non-artists rely on AI to make art, but it's just downright tragic. It's so tragic when genuinely talented artists start using AI. It's like, yeah, there's two sides of that where it's like, the people who are not artists will snatch up the service like it's the most wonderful piece of candy. But when I see very talented people, especially young people, this young girl, she's got like 14 years more than me. If we both live to nice long lives, live to be at a ripe old age. That's what I meant to say. I like to self-edit myself, in front of you guys. I'm a writer. I have to do that. She's got at least 14 or 15 years more than me, and she's I wish I had her chops when I was 22. I mean, I knew violin and stuff, but I didn't have any composing chops. I didn't really have any composing chops until like 35 years old. I worked at it, but I didn't have anything really, well, since 2019. So that's like 32 years old. So she's at least 10 years ahead of me. She's got 10 years ahead of me, but man, dude, just that, it is tragic. It's downright tragic, as you say. Man, just play to your strengths. You can't do everything. I'm seeing these writers on YouTube who say, "Well, I don't have the money to have a whole team behind me for marketing, or I don't have the money to pay an artist for a comic book graphic novel. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the time." It's like, no one has. I'm sorry, unless you're a celebrity, you're not going to have the money or the time. You just have to deal with your limitation. You got to deal with what you have. And guess what? That's okay. You don't have to. I don't really need a multi-million-dollar music studio and a multi-million-dollar team of people producing my stuff. Oh, it would be awesome. But I don't need it. I accept it. I don't need to be a celebrity. I don't need to have millions of dollars behind me. I don't need to have a crazy, like, multi-million readership, membership or readership or listeners. I'm not going to have Jordan Rudess's levels of viewers unless some stroke of luck happens and I'm like, whoa, where did all these people come from? I'm not going to have the clout that Dream Theater has, or all these like music celebrities. I'm not going to have the clout that all these, major sci-fi writers have. They have all these platforms behind I see all these indie creators complain. They're like victims. They're like, I don't have the money. I don't have the team of people. I don't have the marketing. I was like, suck it up, Buttercup. You got YouTube. It's a free platform. Make something interesting. Make good art and have at it. Because that's your chance. That's your one chance. You might not get it, but that's your chance. And it's all these AI, and then these independent creators are like, let's do AI because AI can market for me, AI can edit for me, AI can do the art for me, I'll do the writing, AI does the art, and it's like, I don't have the money to pay a top award-winning illustrator. I'm like, find the money, save the money, invest time and money. It's easy. It's not easy. Okay, it's simple. It's not easy. As who is it? What's his name? Christian Bale says in The Prodigy at the end. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's like, it's not easy, but it's simple. Ace is asking H.G. Wells things to come. I haven't read that. I need to read more of his like social commentary on stuff. That'd be interesting. No, just so you know, because I think I will do a video before I forget. I definitely want to I do want to do a couple videos, 2 videos. One, I will one day do a deep dive analysis of his masterpiece, The War of the Worlds. I've read it twice. It's a masterpiece. I think it's his greatest story. I know he wrote dozens of stories. So 5 stories I've read of his over the summer. The War of the Worlds, Time Machine, The First Men in the Moon. Yes, in the moon. There's a reason why it's that. The Island of Dr. Moreau. What was the 4th one? What was the 4th one I read? Oh, The Invisible Man. And I've got some opinions, maybe some strong opinions about some. I highly recommend War of the Worlds. If you read nothing else from H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, it's a masterpiece for so many reasons. Also, Time Machine. Time Machine is a very short read. And it's worth the read. It's very interesting. His premise for Time Machine is very interesting. I really liked the misadventures of the two men protagonists, the two main protagonists of the first Men in the Moon. Wonderful misadventure. It ends very dark. It starts out kind of absurd and comical. It ends very sad. I wasn't expecting such a sad ending, but it's still a good read. Island of Dr. Monroe. Island of Dr. Moreau. I I appreciate what it's done for the sci-fi culture and what it's done for film adaptations, no question. It's not his strongest. It's not his strongest. The premise is interesting, but it's not his strongest. I should actually pay attention to the publication dates of these stories, and just to kind of see where he really went to home with his masterpieces and like behind Island of Dr. Moreau is very good, but it's written out. It wasn't my favorite. I had a hard time keeping up. It's a short read too, but I still had a hard time keeping up with it. Um, and then Invisible Man. I have a feeling this will be one of those interesting things. Invisible Man, while worth reading once, it's not his strongest. It's not his strongest work for a few reasons that I can get into another time. It's just there's no suspense. There's no the main character who's the Invisible Man is you understand he's becoming mad with his predicament, but you can write a madman that is not so like let's punch him in the face. I just I there are a few things to learn in the way of writing with something like The Invisible Man. I have a feeling because I actually kind of want to watch the film for Halloween. I'd like to watch the classic film Invisible Man from Universal Monsters. I think this will be one of those rare cases where I will like the film much better than the book. I've only had that once with Patriot Games. Patriot Games, Tom Clancy novel. Don't recommend. I do recommend the film. It's awesome. The Clancy novel, not good. It's not good. Made me really mad when I finished that novel. And that's the only Tom Clancy novel I ever read. Uh, I did like the villain's motive for. Oh, dude, what's going on? I'm gonna talk to Prof for a second and see if he's streaming or something. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I blacked out, so we were checking the streaming. So hopefully it's not too much. But what was I gonna say? We're talking about H.G. Wells. So I read 5 of his books this summer. I highly recommend just reading him if you're looking into science fiction. He's fascinating. His writing is incredibly insightful. He's really the first among the sci-fi writers. Like he's turn of the century. Like he wrote Time Machine and War of the Worlds before the 1900s. I think it was like 1898, 1895. Just very insightful. Time Machine has some very deep insight for something that was written at the turn of the century. I was amazed. So I would recommend if you are into looking into science fiction, if you are looking into H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds, you won't be disappointed. Read it twice. Read it a few times. You take a lot from it. And then Time Machine. Those I think are his strongest works. Oh, I think I was talking about the Patriot Games. The villain, the motive of the villain for seeking revenge. Okay, I will say the movie is so much better, but for Patriot Games, the motive of the villain in the book is much better. He wants revenge against I forgot the main protagonist's name, but the guy who was played by Harrison Ford. He's the famous. He's like he has a famous name too. Jack Ryan, I think is his name. The terrorist, the North Irish terrorist, wanted revenge in the book because Jack Ryan's actions set the whole terrorist party back like a year's worth of work. So that's why he's having this obsession to get his revenge against Ryan's family. I think that's his name, Jack Ryan. Um, the villain in the film, same guy, same villain. Yeah, okay. It's a great movie, but like the villain wants his revenge against Jack Ryan because Jack Ryan's actions unwittingly killed his brother, but his they were about to plot a terrorist attack in London, I think. Like I think in front of um the shoot. Where does the Queen stay? I'm horrible with my British culture. But so his brother gets killed in a planned terrorist attack. And it's like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And I was like, bro, you're a terrorist. You should both people should expect like their lives are gonna be taken in such a planned attack. So while the movie is so much better than the book, the motive behind the villain or the motive of the villain is better in the book. But that's all I'm gonna give Clancy. Yeah. Yeah. Also, oh my gosh, Clancy had this weird. One of the terrorists in the book. I don't know with Clancy, and I'm gonna go on a rant, a little writer's rant, and I read this book many years ago, and I remember these things that really got under my skin. Um, one thing I really hated with the Clancy between the American culture and the British culture was like this I don't mind Anglophile or philia. Like I don't mind the love of the British. I don't mind it, but when it's just sapping all over the text with the American characters, I'm like, shut up. I get why you're just trying to like, oh, like appease the British. Cool. It's like cool. I mean, we're not that much different, are we? Maybe we are. Maybe we have a lot of big differences. But it gets to be too much, especially in a 525-page book. The other weird thing about that book was there's this one terrorist, and he in the group, and you're I guess supposed to like sympathize with him because like he had no problem killing men, but he had to draw the line when it came to women and children. I'm like, you're a terrorist. You should just be outright evil all the way. Just you shouldn't care who you blow up. You're a terrorist. So that was kind of weird. Anyway, that was a sidebar. Let's go on. Let's continue. Crystal Ashes says, I used to be a friend with someone who is no longer a friend for a multitude of reasons. I'm sorry, that's rough. And he liked using AI image generators and somehow deluded himself into thinking that was his original art. The delusion is real, and that's so unfortunate. I'm sorry it had to happen to your former friend. You only think it's real because you've never done it yourself. I can't explain it any better than that. Sammer Proctor says, thank you for becoming a channel member. I've seen some artists try to, and sabotage the visual AI art algorithms by using specific patterns overlaying the piece of invisible to the human eye, but scrambles the AI, affecting the AI art. I hope it's becoming more and more successful as the technology progresses. I think it's called cloaking. I think they're making the attempt to do it with visual art, but they've been making it an attempt. Some engineers in Knoxville, Tennessee are trying to have a parallel technology with music. And I, for one, would I should ask my teacher, my instructor Field Steel, if there can be something Superclad can do about that. Sorry guys, I got a cough. All right. Let's see. Oh, don't worry, says Crystal Ashes. I'm not expecting you to be able to pronounce my name. Yeah, as long as you can pronounce the name. Uh, oh, yeah, blame me and Alyssa for why we won't fly anywhere. I know. I'm a uh, I have a phobia, and that's airplanes. I didn't always have it. Um, I have a phobia for flying. I it's really takeoff, honestly. I could get on a plane. I've flown before several times. It's just takeoff. I hate takeoff with a passion. I'm always thinking we're never gonna make it. And then the plane levels and we're good. Yeah. I hate that I have that phobia. It's not good. I used to have arachnophobia and I don't have that anymore. I wish I was like my mom. My mom is the woman with no fear. She has three very anxious daughters. I'm one of them. And she doesn't have anxiety. I was like, man, I wish I had your disposition so badly. But since we do have Alyssa, we're not going anywhere. I really would love to see England, if it just wasn't going through so much. I feel for England so badly. Uh, don't worry again. Don't worry. Crystal Ashes says you'll fly again one day. He is my Superman. He is my Superman. Just hear, dude. Talking about England, just hearing trigonometry gives me oh, trigonometry. I'm sorry. Trigonometry. Math. I thought you were talking about the channel trigonometry, which is a channel I listen to. Yeah. That's funny. Uh, yeah, I'm glitching. When was that made? Okay, are you on the right Wi-Fi? Yeah, hopefully I'm not. Yeah. Maybe it's thunderstorms out there. Maybe it's hot. Friends, who needs them? Only air-breathing humans needs friends. Need friends. Sorry about the glitching, guys. We don't have any Wi-Fi vampires. Maybe it's just something to do with the weather today. Or maybe it's StreamYard. Maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe StreamYard is causing a lot of friction because we won't pay their higher tier. Dude. Well, I think definitely into the next year, maybe even into this fall, I don't know. I'd like to look into OBS and just stream from OBS. It's a little bit more comprehensive. It's not user friendly, but it's worth the learning curve. So I think I will probably in the next 2 months or whatever. Maybe that won't solve the glitching. Maybe we just have really weak Wi-Fi today, but oh well. I do the writing until I get lazy and let AI do the writing too. I can't trust writers who have published books with their own writing. I'm not going to buy any of their stuff if they say they do AI. Even if they disclose, well, no, this chapter book or this book series is not AI. I'm like, I don't care. I've got some, I got a line I'm not going to cross, There's tolerate so much. But you're being prejudiced. I'm like, sure. I don't care. I get people calling me like, I don't even, I'm not when the AI bros come at me with their comments, they don't call me a concerned artist. They call me anti. They don't even call me anti-AI. You're like, you're just an anti. You're just an anti. I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Final Fantasy fan says the one question I can't help but ask when someone says I don't have the money for, then where have you been spending the money on? I know. Well, you know what? It could be that Final Fantasy fan. That's a good question, but I would even push the questioning further. It's like, well, then why did you think to endeavor in the first place if you can't possibly get it done because you don't have the money or the time? Why would you endeavor it? Maybe it's a dream that you should just let go. What a weird thing. What a weird line of logic when you think about it. It's like, well, I don't have the money like Brandon Sanderson. I don't have the team of people. I don't have his office. I don't have his following. It's like, but you're writing. Yeah, I'm writing because I'm a writer. It's like, so there's no correlation, okay? Someone's success should not be the correlation to how you view your success. It's like, well, I'm not going to be as famous as Brandon Sanderson. It's like, so what? What are you going to write? Like, yeah, I'm going to write. Then write. And shut up. Shut up about it. Yeah, we would all love a little more money, but we just gotta rely on providence and God's provision and be happy with our jobs and save a little money and do our best. That's all the world can ask of us, is to do our best with what we have. Samuel Proctor says, there's a comic artist I follow called Thomas Batilli, who has transitioned from doing mostly digital art to mostly old school traditional art on paper. It's harder for AI to replicate that. Yeah. I I just know like a number of illustrators and artists who can just whip up something so fast, like in under an hour, and it's like AI ain't gonna scan that. And that artist, sometimes these artists can sell something they sketched and inked in under 2 hours. They can sell it for $500. I'm like, see, that's awesome. That's awesome. And a lot of these artists are in their 60s and 70s. They've got their whole life behind them, and they still have a lot, if they're healthy, they still have quite a bit of time left to keep being great and doing good things like that. Samuel Proctor also says he's been doing a lot of it on the artist Thomas Patilli. He's been doing a lot of videos on how the pre-digital artists from Marvel and DC did their techniques before computers. It's been fun watching. He's developing a great style. That's wonderful. I mean, I've said this before. Yes, I do electronic music. I do Super Collider. It's digital. It's computer technology. It's computer science, and that's the nature of it. I love it. I love synthesizers. I love sound synthesis, audio synthesis, granular synthesis, FM. I love all that stuff. And that's my medium. Those are the tools I work with. Super Collider is a tool that allows me to explore a lot of different sound synthesis, stuff I could not create in Logic Pro. And then likewise, Logic Pro allows me to work in synthesizers I wouldn't have available if I just had a pen and paper. That said, if the medium disappeared, let's say Super Collider just went away, or all the digital audio workstations went away, let's say computer technology went away, does that stop me from composing music if I feel like I can give it to an orchestra or to a group of musicians? Or does it even just stop the ability of making music? No, my ability of making music and composing music and composing melodies and harmonies and all of that stuff, I can still write on a piece of paper. I could still record with a cassette tape player or whatever. Like my ability, even if the medium goes away, and I hope it doesn't because I love electronic music so much, even if the medium goes away, my ability to compose does not go away. People are using AI as a medium, as a tool. Well, if that goes away, then some of you guys, not you, can't do it. I haven't seen the movie. I have not seen the movie, what Moreau did to Brando. I have not seen that. I'm sure the movie's a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like The Invisible Man, the film, better than the book. A lot of good stuff on the book, but not. It's not a bad story. It's just not the strongest. Not of his. What? Prof has. I'm slow to the movie scene, Samuel Proctor. Prof, we have to like plan ahead for me to see a film, but I will. I want to watch the Dracula film, and I would like to because I loved the book. God. Dracula is one of the best stories ever written. So I'm gonna watch Dracula, and then I would like to watch The Invisible Man and compare it to the novel. Maybe even do an analysis of that. What? You've been married for 2 years? Yeah. Yeah. Hey man, we've gone through Stargate. Give us some slack. That was a lot of Stargate we had to go through. Uh, Crystal Ashes says, I sadly never read H.G. Wells. I'll have to change that soon. Yeah. I mean, read whatever story sounds the most interesting to you, but at least from what I've read, you can't do better than War of the Worlds. Um, I wish I appreciated Time Machine as much as others when I read it. I think I overhyped it for myself. It's a very short read and it's unexpected. It is very unexpected. It's a kind of it's very different. It's I mean it if Time Machine were written now in this 21st century, it would still be insightful. It would still be thought provoking. Like, I didn't even think that it could progress like that. It's interesting, guys. But it's a short read too. The radio version of Orson Welles, yeah, this version. That's right. That's right. Buckingham Palace. Thank you, Private. I was like, what's that famous area? What's that monumental famous place? Buckingham Palace. Let's see. Crystal Ashes says, I always find it hilarious whenever writers try to give terrorists a moral compass. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to sympathize with a less evil terrorist. You know, like, bro, you're horrible. You want to kill. You want to blow buildings up. Okay. And then he like this terrorist is like kind of indignant. He's kind of mad that the other terrorists don't consider the women and children. Like you're in the wrong group, bro. Was it the IRA? You know, it's like you're in the wrong group. Okay, find some pacifist terrorist community where you only off the men. It's so weird, so dumb. I also like he kind of brought I'll say this too and maybe you can disagree you totally disagree with me on this but he brought in race. Clancy brought in race in a really strange way. There was one time where so Jack Ryan's friend who's black has a wife who is being beaten by a terrorist, but the terrorist obviously is prejudiced against black people. Horrible, right? But like the husband is indignant by his racism. And I was like, maybe you should be a little bit more indignant that your wife is being beaten by this terrorist. Maybe her own safety should be the first thing on your mind. Oh, how racist that terrorist is. It's like, it's a terrorist. These aren't good people. Shouldn't you be like the first thing? Your anger should be that the well being of your wife is at stake. Yes, be indignant by the prejudice. That's fine. But like the way Clancy played it out, it's like this black man is so indignant by the racism of this terrorist. It's like, can you be indignant after the fact and just try to protect your wife from being killed? On your mind. The well-being of your wife should be the first on your mind. It was weird. It was strange. But maybe I don't understand. Maybe I can't possibly understand. Like terrorists are terrorists. They're you shouldn't be surprised that they're prejudiced against certain groups of people. It's weird. Clancy, man, like I can't believe I remember all this stuff from having read that book. Yeah, that's what Xanax is for. Yeah, I had. Did I have that? No, I had another prescription. My uncle prescribed for me something when I had to fly to my sister's wedding. Samuel Proctor says, and I know nothing about Sanderson, by the way, because I don't read fantasy very much, if not at all, besides Lewis and Tolkien. Brandon Sanderson didn't start with the money either. He's already been writing every day prolifically for 10 years before he got published. Yeah. It's like this whole victimization, like, oh, poor me. It's like, bro, You say you're conservative. Come on, buckle up, chin up, and buckle up. Pull. What's the phrase? Pull yourself together by the bootstraps or whatever. It's like, come on, gung ho American. Like, take it by the horns and just raffle for that opportunity. I don't have enough money. Don't get it. All right, man. What time is it? Man, we're almost almost 2 hours. Hope you like that. Hope you like that discussion. 1931 film is very different from the original novel. Yeah, I understand the differences, but I understand too that it's probably really good. Third draft for the novella, says Samuel Proctor. The first draft was written from pencil, second from my old typewriter. This current one is on Google Docs. I did Google Docs for the longest time until Prof bought me a laptop finally. I hadn't had a laptop in like 15 years since college. And I was doing Google Docs and I didn't like it. And he has a hard time editing my stuff on Google Docs. So I think it was Christmas. It was either Christmas or my birthday. He bought me a nice PC, HP laptop. And I only use it. I don't use it for internet. I only use it for writing. And it's easier for him to look over the manuscript. And because my computer here, the operating system is so old. I can't even get like, what is it? Microsoft Office 2011 or whatever. I can't even get that from, well, maybe because it's too new. But anyway, I can't get the latest Microsoft stuff. I can't get the latest stuff on my computer because it's the operating system. I always buy old stuff. I always buy new devices that are kind of old. It's good, but it's nothing like a novel. Well, you never know. I mean, it takes time. Samuel Proctor says, remember the bad guys from the TV shows you watched on Saturday mornings? Well, these guys are not like those bad guys. They won't exercise restraint because your children, they will kill you. Oh, nice. Yeah, exactly. Until they made it worse. So Amy Ellis says, Google Docs is good until they made it worse. I honestly don't know how Google thinks. Yeah, I don't know either. I do not know either. Yeah. Good point, Crystal Ashes. You probably wouldn't want Microsoft's latest OS. Yeah, right. I like the old stuff. I trust the old stuff. I think I misspoke on my last stream where I said I wouldn't trust an article written before 2020. I meant after 2020. I just don't trust stuff. I don't trust platforms. I don't trust software. I don't trust articles, books even. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Do I have it? Oh, I put it on the other bed. I am reading Doug Brody's Shelley, the first book. I'm enjoying it. It was written, when was it written? 2022, published 2022 or 2023. Really recent. It's sci-fi, but in the American setting, like Washington, D.C. and Chicago and stuff. And Doug Brody and I'm going to definitely do a review of this book because I am enjoying it. All right, peace out. Gotta consume some beef. Yeah, exactly. Sound by Ace. Sound engraver noted, says Samuel Proctor. I'll convert my manuscript to a Word document if I manage to convince the prof to edit my book when I'm ready. Yeah, I mean he does offer services. He has a rate. But it is better for him to edit off of Microsoft, not Google Docs. He put up with me, because we edit each other's stuff. Like he'll send stories and I'll edit it and give feedback and I'll send stories for him. And it was just getting impractical. It was getting impractical. So yeah, that was fun. Thank you guys for listening to my rants. Yeah, I think this was good. I think this was a good stream talking about AI. I kind of want to, I don't know. I need to get a couple of videos out, but I don't know if I'll do it this week. Taking lessons with SuperCollider and what that's been and why taking lessons is really important. Not just with SuperCollider, but just in general, especially if you have a good instructor. There are a few things that I'd like to do, but the spare time I have, I've just been writing and composing. So, what will be on the dock for streaming next week, I think I kind of want to get back into the socialization of art and marketing art and kind of the parasocial dynamics of art because I think about this stuff a lot. Like, there's a lot of tribalism, even if it's with groups of people you agree with. There's just a lot of, well, I'm not going to read that story because this person is part of that group, and that's everyone's prerogative. But I think we got to explore the parasocial in marketing more because I really do want to approach it differently. And uh oh, sorry, I was reading Ghost Planet's comment on Impera's son was retired lawyer. I don't know what you're talking about. Uh, I sorry, I don't know the reference. But thank you always for coming, Ghost Planet. And actually, you'll have your birthday before I see you next, so happy birthday before I forget. But what was I going to say? What was I going to say? Parasocial dynamics with marketing your art because I think I think it's a big factor when marketing your art. You do have to like the person, but we're seeing a lot of factions. I don't want to get in too much of drama in the indie artist space, but I am there's a lot to take away. Um, just in a nutshell, when I do publish more sci-fi stories, at the end of the day, yeah, of course, please watch my streams, please like me, but I would only want you to read my science fiction or listen to my music if it was something you were interested in. And it's kind of hard for me to say. It's like, no, like me, support me, buy my stuff. And it's like, I invest in people's art and stories because of the stories. I may like the person, but ultimately it's the stories. So I think that's what we'll do. That's what we'll talk about. Sorry, I'm picking at this band-aid. That's kind of gross. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. I think we'll end it there. And until next time, you guys keep producing, preserving, and promoting that good art you love. And I will catch you later. Thanks.